I'm stuck and I need for this to happen. But the healing takes place when we can put all our cards on the table, when we can empty all our stones and say, that's the truth. I'm not going to hide it. I'm not going to lie about it. I'm not going to act like it's not true. And I'm not going to give it power and dominion over my life. But it's important for me to say, yeah, that's my truth right now. It's a mess. All the cards are on the table. And then when I stop talking about what's happening to me and what I need to happen for me, a question comes through that the universe is always asking us to remember our uhane nui, that you are spirit greatness. And that is, do you want to be healed? Because when this man had an experience with Jesus, who represents our Christ consciousness, our divine essence, when he finally got still enough to hear that question that has always been asking of us, and the question is, do you want to experience your wholeness? Now think about it. It doesn't matter if you're in a financial situation. It doesn't matter if your relationship is on the rocks. It doesn't matter if you have an addiction problem. It does not matter if you are in need of physical healing, mental healing. The same statement applies. Do you want to experience your wholeness? Yes? Yes. And with that subtle shift, yet ever so powerful, when we make that shift and it's not that we don't act like this stuff is happening, because it is. But rather than trying to solve the problem at the level of the problem, as Einstein said, we go to another level. We call upon the Christ presence. We call upon our divine essence to heal us, to show me what I need to do to experience my wholeness. Now, for some people, it may be go see this doctor. For some people, it may be find a good 12-step program. For some people, it may be file bankruptcy or do whatever you need to do. I don't know. But when we reach that point of being able to listen, what do I need to do to experience my wholeness? That is where healing takes place. So when the man by Bethesda, at the pool of Bethesda, when he said, yes, I want to experience my wholeness, I want to be healed, then he was lifted out of that state of consciousness and placed into the pool of living waters where life begins to heal us and lead us into our freedom, which is part of our uhane greatness, our spiritual birthright. It's a powerful, powerful experience. There's a man that actually lives in the state of Washington, and he had reached a point of his life where he was ready to die. I found his story because he was on the CBS News. His name is Andy Mackey. Steve Hartman, who's a reporter for Assignment America, some of you may follow this on CBS Evening News, he interviewed a guy named Andy Mackey. Andy had had 9 surgeries, heart surgeries, was taking 15 medications just to stay alive. And yet he had no quality of life. He was spending a fortune on 15 medications. The side effects were making him sick. And so he finally reached that point where he put all of his cards on the table and he said, you know what? I can't do this anymore. And I'm going to do what I've always wanted to do. Now he followed his step, and I want to show you his story, Jim.
Every time 70-year-old Andy Mackey draws a breath, it's music to his ears, whether there's a harmonica there or not. He's just glad to be alive.
How are you still sitting here?
I guess they don't need a harmonica.
Andy Mackey, a Scottish-born retired horse trainer, lives in this camper in northwest Washington state. Lives here even though technically, medically, he should have died long ago. After his 9th heart surgery, Andy's doctors had him on 15 different medicines, but the side effects made life miserable. So one day, he quit taking all 15 and decided to spend his final days doing something he always wanted to do.
Go out, 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 in, out.
Andy used the money he would have spent on the prescriptions to give away 300 harmonicas with lessons.
Very good.
And when he didn't die the next month, he bought a few hundred more. It's now 11 years and 13,000 harmonicas later.
He taught us a lot. He's very nice. Everybody likes him. Everybody.
To keep the kids interested in music as they get older, Andy now spends the bulk of his Social Security check making what he calls strum sticks. He's given away thousands of these too. He also buys store-made instruments for kids who show a special interest and provides free lessons to everyone
Give me an 8.
by getting the older kids to teach the younger kids.
Yeah, it's getting out of it. I tell them music is a gift. You give it away. If you give it away, you get to keep it forever.
The end result is something truly unique to this corner of America. Seems everywhere you look, every place you go, every kid you meet has that same genuine passion for fiddle music.
I can't explain the joy. I don't think Bill Gates feels any richer inside than I do.
Do you think you're still living today because of the kids and the music?
I really believe that.
Cerny, give me that song again, if you will. So how about we bring Andy Mackey here? Can you see how he, out of desperation, stopped focusing on trying to save his life? And deciding he probably had 1 month to live, he took his money and bought 300 harmonicas and did what he always wanted to do. You see, he finally connected with his Uhane Nui, his spirit greatness, because he had nothing left to lose. When we pour these out every day, we realize it's just rocks. I really have nothing else to lose. And when we reach that point, we have done what all the master teachers said. We have died without dying. And we have freed ourselves to live under the influence of our soul rather than the influence of any outside or substandard presence. A book by Deepak Chopra seems like a simple thing. But I really want to tell you that I have a strong feeling about something ready to happen here. And I'm asking you to get on board. And I don't know what that looks like for you, but you do. I do know that when a community of people are willing to do their work one by one and create a bowl of light in a bigger space, what do you think happens? I think heaven on earth begins to appear.